I'm Joey O'Connor with the Grove Center for the Arts, and we're here at the 18th Street Art Center in Los Angeles for the show, Does Religion Kill? We're going to be interviewing artist and curator Ronald Lopez about the intersection of his faith, his art, and his life. I'm here with Ronald Lopez. Ronald Lopez has a fascinating career as an artist and as a curator, and we're at the show Does Religion Kill? And we've got the great opportunity to talk with Ron now about his life and his work. Ron, tell me about your work. How'd you get started in art?
Art has always played a fascinating role in my life. It's been an outlet for emotion. Actually, in school, in high school, I was more academic, and growing up in the hood, it was pretty difficult, and actually very difficult. And so art wasn't, in my eyes, seen as an academic form. It was seen as a place to channel my pain, a place to channel my hurt, a place to hide into. And so that's how it has always been for me.
So tell me about this current show, Does Religion Kill? What's this all about?
The original intent of the show was to create dialogue. Thus, the title of the show is a question. In the art world and in the faith world, we've kind of tiptoed around the real topics. The art world has, in some manner, stayed away from the topic of faith, and they've been antagonistic, but they've never been drawn to actually dialogue. And that's what this is about, is encouraging the dialogue. And those who are in the faith world, I'm trying to encourage those in the faith world to come into the worlds that are not in the faith. And so you have this interesting mesh that's happening.
Right.
So this show really encourages those that will never think about faith, God, Islam, Christianity, you name it. Now this provokes them to think about it. And the other interesting part is that the title is pretty antagonistic in some ways, a very provocative title. And at first sight, you think, I don't want any part of it. But if you give it a chance, you'll realize people are speaking their hearts. And if you come in with a sober mind, then you could take from it and say, oh, this is what they think. These are the stereotypes. This is what the stereotype of a Muslim has of a Christian, or a Christian of a Muslim, or an atheist, etc., etc. And so that has created a great conversation.
For someone who's a young artist, what was the pathway for you pursuing your calling?
I would say human contact. You have to have human contact. Relationships, I think, are the most vital part of life, and consistency in that. I started at this art center 7 years ago as an intern through a grant by the Getty Foundation. And when I was here, I learned about how to run an art center. And the director liked my work, and I was doing a lot of graphics. But then I left, and when I left, I didn't lose contact with the director. Anytime I had an event, I would let him know, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. And because of that, he would write me back, and he would be very appreciative of the connection I maintained. And I think that's important. It's a very human part that's important, that as an artist or whatever field you're in, I think we forget that sometimes. Along with that, you got to be able to take risk. And for myself, financially speaking, I'm definitely not at a point where I would like to be financially. On the other hand, what doesn't make any sense is I'm showing in this space, and it's one of the best spaces in Southern California. So it's interesting. I'm taking the risk financially, but I'm here, and that's because I believe it's going somewhere else, and I have a faith that it's going to happen, financially speaking.
Talk to me about your faith. How do you integrate that in your life's work, your life's calling? How does a young artist do that?
I think it's important to be very honest with yourself and with your audience, and that's my perspective of it. There's been times where I've been more evangelistic, per se, in what I believe, and you can see it in my work. And there's been times where, I'm just struggling. I want nothing to do with God. In fact, I'm saying I don't believe in God. And I think it's important for the audience to see that, because we are humans, and we have problems just like everyone else, and I think the biggest problem, or the biggest fear rather, has been I don't want to expose myself because I'm supposed to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And so really, if there's one word in my work that I would like to be said of, is that I'm authentic and real. And I think that's really important. If you're really willing to take the risk, you have to be able to do the work. Pablo Picasso said to be a great artist, 90%, it takes 90% work, 10% talent. And there's a huge work ethic as an artist. And a lot of artists romanticize the idea of being an artist, but don't realize you gotta have some business skills, you gotta have some salesman skills, people skills, and it's very important. Those things are important.
So thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. It's great to be with you, and I'm honored just as well to have met you and be a part of what you're doing. I think it's great. Thank you.